Kansas City's breaking news leader. This is 41 Action News.
I saw people running out, kids running out, and we're trying to tell them, don't let the kids come out right now because too much of fire jumping off of the pole.
My daughter just ran to me, and evidently she's fine. I'm fine. I'm just happy nothing happened to her.
A car smashes into a Kansas City daycare. Panicked parents rush to the scene as emergency workers try to rescue the victims.
We have team coverage from the scene and at Children's Mercy Hospital where the victims are recovering right now.
We begin with Johnny on Thompson live at 27th and Monroe. Johnny on.
Well, good evening to you guys. I can tell you that right now this Christian Academy, like you said, right off of I-70 near 27th Street is really getting more quiet now. We've been on the scene for a couple of hours and the police tape is starting to come down. You can see possibly a couple people behind me just shoveling a little bit of debris. A much different scene than what we saw earlier today. What I can tell you right now is that we have 3 small children in the hospital and 1 driver of a car. Luckily, all of them are in stable condition at this hour. About 1 o'clock today, it was much different. What we saw were 2 vehicles literally smashed into the side of this daycare. Police tell us that that gray SUV that you're looking at right there was driving down the road, literally hit the back of a Cadillac that sent both of them careening into the side of that building and plowing through a room where there were children taking naps during their nap time. That pinned at least 2 of those children under one of those cars, sending 3 of them to the hospital and the driver of that gray SUV also to the hospital. The driver, there was no driver in the Cadillac at the time, so we just have that 1 driver in the gray SUV who was sent to the hospital as well. And this was just a horrifying experience for everyone involved. We heard from one witness who told us exactly what it was like straight from her account.
I saw people running out, kids running out, and we're trying to tell them, don't let the kids come out right now because too much of fire jumping off of the pole.
Just unreal what they saw and what they witnessed. But through all of this, you can't forget about the parents. Those parents started getting the news from Christian Academy. They called them to let them know what had happened. The daycare staff then moved all of the children a couple of doors down the street. They started to try to account for all what they believe were about 40 kids inside. And the parents started to show up. You can imagine how emotional that scene was for the moms and the parents looking for their children. One mom spoke with us about what it was like when she saw her daughter was okay.
My daughter just ran to me, and evidently she's fine. I'm fine. I'm just happy nothing happened to her.
All right, so now I want to bring in my colleague, Zach Tecklenburg. And Zach, you were the one that was actually there collecting those sound bites for us of those parents and those moms. I can't even imagine what it was like to rush up and think, oh my gosh, is my son or daughter okay? And then to be able to grab them and hold them in my arms. What was that like?
Yeah, very chaotic scene, kind of from the highest of highs to lowest of lows sort of thing. And as you come up upon this this scene here is very impressive and very scary, of course, for a lot of parents because they're looking down the street here down 27th Street, and all you see is really just a wall of fire trucks. A lot of streets were blocked off here, so a lot of parents had to run up and get their kids after a block or 2 and park the car. So just very dramatic and tense for them until the very end. And I talked to another mother who was there picking up her daughter, a little bit older, maybe 7 or 8 years old. And you said that this happened during nap time. That daughter was actually still clutching to her pillow. The mom had her arms around her daughter, but had to see the building for herself. And when she saw that power pole kind of teetering there and the car still in the building at the time, the tears just kind of came down her face there because that is just such a tough thing to see, and just so lucky that these 3 kids are expected to be okay here. And if you look back there, I mean, it speaks for itself, really.
And that's the thing. That it sounds like the driver of that gray SUV we talked about, police tell us, was probably about 80 years old. That's all that we know on that person right now. We don't know why he hit that other car. This, though, could have happened in any other situation, in any other setting. And the fact that it happened right here and then in front of that daycare, and it happened that car went into the nap room, uncanny what we're dealing with. Did any of those parents talk about that specifically to you? Or
well, they didn't really know. They didn't really say much about the driver because we were still learning more about that. But I think everyone here is just feeling such a sense of relief because, as you said, it could hit anywhere, any sort of building. Very unlucky that it hit a daycare, but very lucky that it was not a lot worse.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Well, thank you so much for that account, Zach. As we continue to follow this story for you, we'll bring you more information and more updates as we get it. But I can tell you right now the scene is quieting down because they're just starting to clear up all of the debris and pick up the pieces of literally what's left of this daycare. For now, reporting live, Jodion Thompson, 41 Action News.